Hi everyone, welcome to my book review, week number 6. I'm very excited. This has been a great class so far. I'm just going to start a stopwatch because my video was a little bit longer last week than it was supposed to, so I just wanted to make sure I was in line with what we had for this week. I just took down a couple of notes of my favorite things that I really learned from the last couple of chapters, and just made a bullet point list, and I'm just going to talk through those really quick. The first thing that I really liked in chronological order from the book was the power of demonstration. There was a time when I took a foods class when I was in high school, and I had never stepped foot in, well, obviously I had stepped foot in my kitchen, but I had never tried to cook anything in my life. And I was in 9th grade, and I was terrified because I wasn't exactly sure what I was doing in the kitchen. It just wasn't normal for me. It wasn't a normal family thing for me. I was the youngest child, so I did the laundry, but I did not ever cook. So I started, my teacher was very supportive. Her name was Miss Fagergren, and I remember how loving she was when she was able to teach me how to, use those measuring cups and use the right ingredients and the right amount of the ingredients to help me make this recipe. And for the first week, I made this itty bitty cake, and it was just so precious, and I loved it. And it's been a couple years since that time, and I love cooking now, and I attribute a lot of that from Miss Fagergren's ability to teach me through demonstration and through guidance and loving guidance. I think that was really important. Another thing that I experienced personally is engaging our students. This is a big thing in elementary age. It is not easy to engage students for long periods of time. I currently work at a preschool, and graduation, well, I guess I don't currently because graduation was yesterday, but the last couple of weeks have been really hard because everyone's so excited for summer and everyone's ready to get out in the sun and play and whatnot. And so it's been really interesting to try and engage students to try their best to stay focused or stay positive on what we were doing that day in the classroom. And it was difficult the last month or so. I am teaching a group of young single adults for this workshop, and so it will be a very different classroom theory than I'm used to, very different from preschool. And so I'm excited to see the best ways to engage young single adults. I technically am one, and I am praying that no one brings their fidget spinner because I can't handle those. They're crazy. The next little section I liked was, it says drawing the best from our participators, and it had a nice section of little questions that you can ask or follow-up comments. I plan on asking a lot of questions and trying to get a lot of group participation and kind of build a support system in this workshop. I think that that's going to be a great opportunity for age in my predicament to be able to spend some time together and learn to have positive feedback and have a positive relationship with their instructor from the very beginning. I think that that's something that adolescents don't do very well in high school. I was never good at working well in a group. I prefer to do, even currently, obviously, I'm not great at working in a group. I'm better at working individually, and I think that just to try and get group feedback would be really important. Can't even read my own handwriting, guys. This is awful. It says family councils. That's what it says. If we're at this stage of our program, I'm sure we've taken several classes that have talked at length on family councils. My personal family, since I've been in school, we have become orphans. Our mom died several years ago, and her dad died about a year and a half ago. And so there's just three of us. We're three single girls, single YSA girls, and we've had to do a lot of family counseling, the three of us, to try and figure out, where we were going to live, what we were going to do, how we were going to afford things, and if we could afford things. And it's been a long process to try and get through to actually hold a family council and actually make those a priority in our busy lives. And I from a personal standpoint, I'm a big fan of family councils, and I want that kind of can tie into my workshop about family councils and even like individual councils. I have those all the time, and just to reassess and re-examine of where I am in my life. I think that that's really important, and I don't think that enough people in this life do that. So I love family councils. I'm a big advocate for them, so I encourage those. Chapter 6 in general was just awesome for me. I just have my book here. I was going to read a couple things. One moment, please. I have this book. I started substituting. My work life is a little hectic right now, but I started substituting a couple of months ago. But I don't have any education training, obviously, besides this class. And I rented a book from my local library that talks about ways to best, it's called the ABCs of Substitute Teaching. And so it lists the ABCs, and it gives a word or a phrase that can describe it. And my favorite letter was G, because it talked about games, and it got some games and some activities to try and hold the class's attention and try and grab their attention from the beginning. And I just think that that's so important. The page I turned to was personal narratives. My whole entire workshop is about a personal experience that I had when I decided to come to BYU, Idaho. I was 23 years old. I didn't have an education, wasn't married, wasn't dating anyone, but I had no progression in my life. There was not that there was nothing to live for, because the future is always worth living for, but there's nothing really holding me to where I was in that situation. And so I want to share that story and share the encouragement, because I know that a lot of people in my ward and in my cohort area, that they're struggling with the same issues that I am about not being able to progress, especially if marriage really isn't on the radar for any of them presently. And I think that my personal story and their personal story can combine and make a beautiful together personal story. Oh my gosh, I'm already over time, you guys. I'm so sorry. The games, I loved those. The comic strips, the internet videos, books. I'm a big fan of books. I like all of those things. The last two things very quickly, it says know your audience, know yourself. That was so smart. I think that is something that you really need to understand, is like, what are you teaching? Why are you in this class? Why are you focusing on this as your workshop? And do you understand why this is important to you? Because if it's not important to you, it's not going to be if it's not important to you, it's not going to be important to anyone else. So I think that's really vital. And the last one was, I read chapter 8 for my last chapter. Maybe it was chapter 9. I don't remember the chapter number, sorry. But it had a lot about positive psychology. I think that anything can be eased with a smile. I think that positive psychology is something that we all need to live by, no matter our life circumstance or anything else. Again, I'm very sorry about how long this video was, but I'm grateful for everyone for sticking with me until the very end. And I hope you guys are enjoying the class, and I will see you around next couple weeks. Bye.